Yeah, so Gary Busey's woods we are at. They say Gary Busey haunts the woods. So there's that. They do say it is completely haunted. Yep, locked as fuck. Kind of a bummer, but what are you gonna do? Coming up.
Hello there, friends. Welcome back to the e-bike noob. As always, I hope you are having a great day. Thanks for riding with me. I hope you enjoy this one. We're going to go for a nice little ride down Bussy Woods. I know I joked in the beginning and said it's Gary Busey Woods. That's just because it's spelled pretty similar to Gary Busey. Maybe even the same way, I'm not really sure. Either way, let's not concern ourselves with Gary Busey at the moment, unless, of course, we just watched the movie Point Break, which you're probably thinking about Gary Busey, and that's not really out of the ordinary. I totally understand that. But if that's not your current situation, let's move past all of that and just continue with the bike ride. Like the title of this video implies, we're going to talk about the 5 things that I like most about the Ariel Rider X Class. And then, obviously, because it just kind of makes sense, the 5 things that I hate the most about the bike. So enjoy the ride, enjoy the scenery. As always, I appreciate you watching the e-bike noob. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button and thumbs up.
It's going to be crowded. And there might be a lot of people out right now. Sun went away. It was nice and sunny before. Yeah, we definitely lost a bit of sun. No matter. We're still having a nice day. Coming left.
So like the title of this video states, I'd like to take a couple of minutes to talk about the 5 things that I like the most and the 5 things I like the least about this Ariel Rider X Class. So let's get right into it, starting with the number 1 thing I like the most about the bike, and that is its top speed. For the money, I don't think there is any other bikes out there that will get up to 30 miles an hour for, anywhere under $2,000. And the X Class definitely does over 30. You can usually catch these bikes on sale for about $1,500. I think the normal price is $1,899, but they seem to kind of always be on sale at $1,500, which is much less than, say, like a Super 73 or even the Ariel Rider D Class, which does over 30 miles an hour. For the few bikes that are advertised to do 30 plus, they seem to all be well over $2,000. So that's why I think for the money, the X Class has the best speed. Which brings me to the second thing I like the most about the bike, and it's just generally the overall value. For the price of these bikes, if you can catch them on sale for $1,500, or even if you have to pay full price at $1,899, if you compare the X Class to some of its other competitors, any of the Super 73 bikes, the Juiced Scrambler, the Juiced Scorpion, Rise has a Scrambler style coming out. There's a ton of these bikes, that are kind of similar, but for the money, none of them go as fast. None of them have dual suspension. And really a lot of the other, nice things that the X Class has. And to be honest, you almost think like there's going to be some kind of drawback or some kind of catch with this bike. But honest to God, I don't think that there is. At least not that I've found yet. And I've, done a lot with this thing. I've put a lot of miles on it and really can't find any major flaws or major downsides. Number 3, this one might sound dumb to a lot of people, but the paint is fantastic on this bike. In the pictures on their website, they make it look like a very vibrant, non-metallic, almost way too obnoxious blue and same thing with the red. But in person, it's a metal flake finish, so that it's got a really nice pop when the sun hits it. It's really, really sharp and not nearly as kind of childish as it looks in the pictures online. Number 4 is the gears and the whole drivetrain setup, the derailleur, the shifters. Really is fantastic. Out of the box, it was just set up and dialed in, ready to go. Didn't give me any issues. And out of the 1,500 miles or so I've put on the bike, I have rarely had to make any adjustments to it. So it is really holding up well. Out of the box, it was dialed in. It's very fast. As soon as you click that button, it changes gear. It's not the twist shift or the big clunky thumb, and kind of lever shifter that they do on even the nicer D-Class. It's got the more mountain bike style kind of lobster claw where you use your thumb and a trigger on your index finger, and it's really, really pleasant to use. Number 5 is just the general sense of community that you get when you ride an X-Class. I'm sure it's the same thing for most of the scrambler style e-bikes, but the Ariel rider people seem to be a pretty nice little community, and especially all the other X-Class owners just seem to be super cool. Everybody likes each other's bikes, whether you want to keep it stock or, mod it out and do whatever to it. Everybody just seems pretty cool there. Even out on the trails, whenever you see another scrambler style e-bike, a lot of times you'll just kind of stop and have a little conversation and talk to each other for a minute. So the sense of community with these bikes is fantastic. And, it might not even be exclusive to the X-Class. In fact, I'm sure it's not exclusive to the X-Class, but it's still great. And it's one of the things that, when you ride this bike, you definitely get that sense of community and sense of fun. And before we move on to the bottom 5, I just want to take a moment to remind you that obviously these are just my opinions and they may differ from your opinions. If you'd like to share your thoughts, please. There's a comments section down below. Fill that thing out. So the number one thing that I personally dislike the most about the bike is just the riding position. It's pretty hunched over, but most of that's because I'm just pretty tall. I'm about 6'3", 6'4", maybe on a good day. And the handlebars are just really low. The seat is pretty high. It's got a high standover height, high seat height to it, which is, obviously not adjustable. And it just makes for a fairly hunched over riding position, even with the handlebars kind of raised up at their maximum height and, trying to get the most out of that sweep back on them. It's still a pretty hunched over position for someone who's got a little bit of height. Number 2 is the motor noise. If you've watched my videos before, I ride this bike a lot, and a lot of times you can hear the winding kind of sound that this motor makes. It does make a lot of power, and, it's definitely got a lot of, peppiness and speed to it, and I guess that comes at a cost, which is a pretty annoying sound. Number 3, the forks. They're just absolute garbage. This is something that Ariel Rider is completely aware of. Apparently, they're working on sending out replacement forks for all the first-gen X-Classes, but the line of communication is not super great there, and these forks are just absolutely worthless. Mine's seized up somewhere around 1,150 miles. I don't have it on film, but I just noticed one day the forks were not doing anything at all. They weren't taking any bumps. They're just completely rigid. When you look at it, from the side, you can almost see where they don't really line up into a straight line. It's kind of that motorcycle style inverted fork, and it just, I guess, doesn't match up, with the rest of the geometry of the bike. But they're absolutely worthless and just terrible. Number 4 is the wait time for the bikes. This isn't completely unique to the X-Class. A lot of electric bikes right now just have a hefty wait time, but nobody wants to wait at all to get one of these. And it seems like, the comments for a lot of videos and, channels that feature an X-Class are just flooded with people who are waiting to get their bikes. And the number 5 thing I dislike the most about the X-Class is just the dirty looks that you're going to get when you ride this bike. I'm sure the same thing happens on most of the other scrambler style or mini bike style electric bikes, because they do kind of look like a little motorcycle or a little dirt bike or whatever. And people on these, bike trails and walking paths and stuff like that, a lot of times don't approve of, someone ripping through. Even if you're doing a reasonable speed, 10, 15 miles an hour, they just take a look at the bike and come to a decision that they don't like you, and they oftentimes will say stuff and yell at you, and really, who cares? Just keep riding and leave them in your dust. But it just, you kind of feel like a jerk every now and then. So you just got to deal with that. Once again, these are just my opinions. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let's take a little cruise down the rest of this path. This is a nice little fall scenic day, so I'm going to put some music on and hope you enjoy it. If you haven't subscribed, do me a huge favor and click that button. Hit the like button if you like these videos. If you have any questions, let me know. See you next time.
Nice trees through there. I don't know. I think that always looks cool. It's a fun little cruise. Left side. Real yellow through here. There's shark. Left side. Left side. Did I just break my bell? I totally just broke my fucking bell. Just broke the dinger on it. That sucks.
Thanks for tuning in and sticking around to the end of this one. Hope you had a great ride today. As always, I appreciate you riding with the e-bike noob. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one.